What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. Today, we continue our series on draft profiles of some of the best college players coming into the NFL draft. Today, we're going to be talking about Penn State linebacker Micah Parsons. We're going to tell you everything you need to know. All that and much more coming your way right now. All right, Nick. Well, we are ever so closer to the NFL draft, and just taking a look at this talent, we say it over and over again, but I have to say it one more time. This might be the deepest class that we've ever seen. I mean, it truly might be. Just looking at some of the talent levels at every single position, quarterback is starter wise six players deep. I mean, it doesn't really get much crazier than that. Six players at the quarterback position that could all be starters in the NFL. It's absolutely unreal. But today I want to take a look at the linebacker position, and specifically one that has made headlines for both good and bad reasons. But today we'll focus on the good. Mr. Micah Parsons, coming from Penn State. He is one of the most athletic linebackers that we've seen in a long time, possibly outside of Ryan Shazier, one of the most athletic linebackers we've seen. And why don't you tell us a little bit about Micah Parsons?
Micah Parsons is by far the best linebacker in this draft class. It doesn't even come close. And he's one of the best linebackers we've seen in many years, actually. He is compared to Bobby Wagner and Luke Kuechly as, one of these guys who's just going to take the league by storm. And I completely agree. I think if you look at what he's done at Penn State, he was an absolute dominant machine. He can do everything. He can play in coverage. He can rush the quarterback. He can play man and zone. He can do it all. There is no weakness to his game, and that's what makes him so good, and that's why he's so coveted right now, is he can work in any system, any scheme, and you'll be fine with this pick. So, Micah Parsons really has everything going for him right now.
Yeah, I mean, I take a look at Micah Parsons. I think he's going to be an inside Mike linebacker. He's going to be right in the middle of that defense. He's probably going to end up with the green dot on his helmet. He's going to be the quarterback of the defense and really just be a leader from day one. Just taking a look at some of his film from Penn State, this guy was hawking down offensive players left, right, and up the middle. I mean, there wasn't a single play this guy wasn't around, and it showed on tape. Even when I was watching other players, I all I could stare at was Micah Parsons. Everything he was doing, and he's such a physical presence when you take a look at the film. I mean, it's hard to miss. It's hard to miss him. It's hard to not even notice him, because when I'm trying to look away, all I see is this big, massive human in the middle of the defense, and that's just Micah Parsons. He can play in coverage. He can come downhill, play the run. He can rush the passer if he has to. He can really do it all. And you're right. I take a look at Bobby Wagner. I take a look at Luke Kuechly, and I think he's going to be one of those guys that we see in the league for hopefully a little longer than Luke Kuechly, but in the next 10, 12-year range. I believe that he's going to be on one of those defenses that has to attack early and often, and he's going to be making a name for himself pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And as far as draft comparisons go, I actually compare him very much so to Brian Urlacher. I think that the two play very similar styles. They sit back and they can read the quarterback very well and make moves on the ball extremely quickly. Right now, we see Micah Parsons at 6'2", almost 6'3", and 245 pounds, which is the perfect weight between size and athleticism, and he's going to be all over the field. Everywhere you look, he's going to be there because he has that type of work mentality. He doesn't have quit in his style. He just keeps on going and chugging. I think that he is going to be one of the best linebackers we've seen in a while, and I think that he can be the next Brian Urlacher.
I mean, Brian Urlacher is a surefire Hall of Famer that we have around here, and I like Brian Urlacher. I'm gonna compare him to somebody I know a little bit more. That'll be Dante Hightower of the New England Patriots. I think he's a little more athletic, but overall, he reminds me a lot of the guy who can run left and right. He, sideline to sideline. He can run downhill, stop any running back in his tracks. He's not afraid to meet anybody head on inside a hole. And on top of that, he's got the explosiveness to rush the passer really well, and he can play all linebacker positions. I think he's going to be utilized in many different sets. So when you take a look at what we're looking at here, I see a lot of Dante Hightower or early Dante Hightower in him.
Yeah, and as far as teams we can expect to go after Micah Parsons in the draft, he's going to be gone in the first 15, possibly even top 10. And so I'm going to be looking at the Carolina Panthers, who have still been missing a hole since Luke Kuechly left. I'm going to be looking at the San Francisco 49ers, and if he makes it to the New England Patriots, I would expect Bill Belichick to take him right there because he knows Dante Hightower is on the back end of his career, probably only has a couple more years, and that's enough time to groom Micah Parsons into the next Mike linebacker for the team. If we look back to where Dante Hightower started out with the Patriots, he was an outside linebacker and then moved on into the inside. I would expect the same thing for Micah Parsons if he made it to the Patriots, but I think those three teams are the ones I would be looking out for in the draft.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't really find a hole with any one of those. I truly believe that Micah Parsons will end up going in the top 8. So I don't even see him getting to 15 or even number 10. But, top 8 he's an incredible talent, and he really needs to be thought of as such because I believe he is going to be wreaking havoc on the NFL for a very long time. Well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.